right, cat lovers, are you ready to really get to know your feline friends?
Yeah, I'd say, are you ready to let your cat get to know you?
Ooh, that's good. That's really good. So today we are going deep into the world of cats.
Deep.
Deep, specifically on how to build a better bond with them.
We're going way past sharing a can of tuna, folks.
Exactly, exactly. And lucky for us, our source material today is basically the cat to human dictionary.
Oh, really?
It is. It is. We're looking at this article. It's called, the English translation is Cat Training, 5 Secrets to Make Cats Love You.
Okay.
But the original title is in Chinese. It's O es que manide.
I love that. And what I find so fascinating about these so-called secrets is that they're not about, like, tricks or dominance or anything like that.
No.
No. It's about, like, tapping into what already motivates cats naturally.
Okay, so less training them and more understanding them.
Exactly.
Amen.
I knew you would be.
Okay, let's jump right in. Secret number 1 is all about playtime.
Ah, yes, playtime.
I love it.
Here's where it gets really interesting. You know how your cat goes bonkers for that, like, feather toy?
Yeah.
They're not just being silly.
Right.
They are tapping into, like, a very deep-seated instinct to hunt.
Okay, so even though they're not out there in the wild actually catching birds or anything, that instinct is still there.
Big time. Like, just think about it. Their reflexes, you know, how they pounce, the focus, the laser focus.
Yeah.
I mean, these things are honed over, like, thousands, millennia of evolution.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Playtime lets them be these little mini panthers, but, you know, in a safe environment.
Right, in your living room, in your house. Yeah, exactly. And this article really emphasizes that we should be part of that game, not just like tossing a toy and walking away.
Right. You don't want to be just a, what do they call that, a toy throwing machine?
Right, exactly.
Right. You want to be the one, you know, making that toy dart around, making it disappear under the couch.
Right.
You become the most interesting thing in the entire world at that moment.
That's awesome.
You're the one engaging their little hunting brain in a way that, like, it strengthens the bond between you two.
That's so interesting. I never thought about it that way, but it makes sense.
Totally. And you're the one that makes the toy magically reappear for round 2.
Yes.
You are the bringer of fun and excitement.
Okay, so we're playing with them and engaging them. That's important. Anything else about this?
Don't forget to let them win at the end. That is crucial. You let them catch the toy. You give them that sense of accomplishment.
Like, I am a successful predator.
Yeah.
Like, yes, fear me, tiny mouse.
Yes. That is so funny.
But really, when you think about it, it builds confidence.
Yeah.
And they associate all those good feelings with you.
That makes so much sense.
It's really laying the groundwork for, like, a much stronger relationship.
Wow. Who knew there was so much to playtime?
Right. So much more than just, you know, tossing a toy around.
So much more.
Okay, you ready for secret number 2?
Okay, hit me.
This one might surprise you. It's the power of grooming. Okay, I will admit, when I think of grooming, I just think about keeping my cat's fur, like, you know, nice and detangled and...
Beautiful and shiny.
Exactly. But the article is suggesting it's a lot more than that.
It really is.
Okay.
So think about it this way. When cats groom each other in the wild, it's a sign of deep trust.
Interesting.
They're very vulnerable in that position.
Yeah, that's true.
So when your cat lets you brush them, they're basically saying, hey, I feel safe with you.
Wow, I never even, thought about it that way.
It's pretty remarkable.
It's like a cat hug.
Exactly. It's like their version of, like, a cuddle or a hug.
Oh, I love that.
Right. And it's not just symbolic. Like, the act of grooming actually releases endorphins in their brain, so it makes them feel good.
So you're literally bonding through feel-good chemicals.
You got it. It's like a little kitty spa day, but, you know, with bonding built in.
I love that. And the article even mentions, like, speaking softly and gently during grooming to make that experience even better.
It's all about creating that calm, that soothing atmosphere.
I love that. Okay, so it's more than just keeping them beautiful. It's about bonding and trust. But there are a few things, right? Like, you have to start slowly. You have to use the right tools. You don't want to force it.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. You got to respect boundaries.
Right.
If your cat's like, nope, not into this, you don't push it. Building trust takes time.
Makes sense. Which actually is a perfect segue to secret number 3. This one's all about respecting boundaries to build that trust.
Yeah, this is huge. I think, you know, a lot of times we think showing affection means, you know, lots of hugs, lots of kisses.
Right. Very human-centric.
Exactly. But cats, you know, they talk a different language.
Totally different.
Right. And if we misread those signals, well,
yeah, there could be some consequences.
yeah, you might end up with a few extra scratches.
Exactly. So instead of, like, imposing ourselves on our cats, we need to pay attention to what they're saying.
Become fluent in feline, so to speak.
I love that. I love that. So what should we be looking for? What are the signs?
Okay, well, the article points out a few things, like slow blinks. Have you ever noticed your cat, like, slowly blinking at
Oh,
you?
yeah, yeah.
That's a good sign. Or a relaxed tail held high, maybe they're rubbing against you.
Oh, yeah.
These are all green lights. Like, hey, I'm feeling good, I'm open to some affection.
So it's about like reading the room, but feline style.
Exactly. Reading the room, feline style. I like that.
Okay. And then just as important, right, is knowing when they need their space.
Oh, absolutely. That's huge.
What are some of those signs?
All right, so if you see like a twicking tail or their ears are flattened or maybe they even, give a little hiss,
Yeah.
that's a pretty clear message.
Okay.
Back off, human.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, yeah.
So, instead of taking it personally, you got to just back off and let them come to you when they're ready.
So respecting their individuality, which I guess it tries to any relationship, right?
Oh, 100%.
It's not just about cats.
Yeah, it's about understanding that, everyone needs their space sometimes. Every being needs their space.
That's a great point. That's a great point. This leads us to secret number 4. This one takes that idea of respecting their nature to a whole new level.
Okay.
It's about positive reinforcement.
Positive reinforcement, one of my favorite topics.
Okay, I am intrigued. I want to hear all about this. Explain how that works with cats.
Okay, you know how excited your cat gets for, like, a tasty treat?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, come on, who doesn't love a good snack, right?
Right, right.
We can actually use that to our advantage. Positive reinforcement is all about rewarding good behavior to encourage them to do it more.
Okay, so like if my cat uses the scratching post instead of my new couch, I shower them with praise and give them a treat.
Exactly. Jackpot.
Okay.
But consistency is key.
Ah.
It's not a one-time thing.
Gotcha.
The article emphasizes this, like, you use specific praise words every time.
Okay, like good job.
Yeah, like good job, yes.
Okay.
So they start associating those words with the positive experience.
Makes sense. So they're like, oh, when I hear good job, that means something good's about to happen.
Exactly. And the article also mentioned, like, hand-feeding treats. That's a really good one.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Because some cats, they can be a little wary of hands, especially if they've had, like, not so great experiences in the past.
Oh, that's a good point.
But when you associate your hand with something positive, like a treat, it can really change their perception.
Yeah, they're like, oh, the hand means good things, not bad things.
Exactly. You're basically building positive associations, step by step.
I like that. It's like a little trust-building exercise.
It really is. It's a little trust-building exercise disguised as a snack time.
Exactly. I love it. Okay, so we've covered play, we've covered grooming, we've covered respecting boundaries and positive reinforcement. What is the 5th and final secret to completely winning over our feline overlords?
This one might seem deceptively simple, but it's all about the power of routine, specifically when it comes to food.
Okay, I am so ready to hear about this food factor. Okay, so tell me more about this food factor. Like, why is it so important?
Well, the article calls it consistency creates security when it comes to cats.
Interesting. I never really thought about, I always feed my cat on a regular schedule, but I never really thought about, like, why it matters so much.
Well, think about it from their perspective.
Okay.
In the wild, finding food, that's like their main job.
Right.
It's a huge source of stress for them.
Yeah, you're right.
Right, so when you provide regular meal times, you take away all that uncertainty, you're like this reliable source of one of their most basic needs.
It's like, yeah, don't worry, little buddy, I gotcha. Dinner's at 5, sharp.
Exactly, you're speaking their language.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
And you know what? The article even suggests, like, using a gentle voice when you call your cat for meals.
Oh, that's sweet. So it's not just the food itself, it's like the whole ritual around it.
It really is.
Wow, I never even thought about that.
You're creating this, like, positive association with that whole routine, that whole pattern.
That's so interesting. And on the flip side, the article mentions avoiding random snacking throughout the day.
Ah, yeah, this is a tough one.
I know. I am so guilty of that.
It's hard to resist those little faces, when they're looking up at you.
Yeah, they're masters of the cute. Come on.
Oh, they know what they're doing.
They know exactly what they're doing. Oh my gosh.
But think about it, if they can get treats whenever they want,
yeah,
mealtime becomes less special, less important.
Right.
Right? It's like you're saying, you don't really need to rely on me for this.
So consistency with meals, it reinforces that sense of security, that trust.
You got it. You're like their rock,
Wow, I'm learning so much today. It's making me want to, like, go back and think about all those other tips,
Yeah.
In light of this whole, like, meeting their needs and building that trust.
I think that's a great instinct, really, because it highlights something so important about all these 5 secrets,
What's that?
They're not just like isolated tips. They all kind of work together,
Okay.
They weave together to create like a much deeper understanding of your cat.
So it's like a holistic approach to building a relationship, not just like a quick fix.
Exactly. Let's go back to Playtime for a second.
Okay.
We talked about how it satisfies their hunting instinct, right?
Yeah.
But it also builds trust because you're the one providing that outlet, right? Like,
Right.
you become the source of fun and excitement.
And when you let them win at the end,
Yeah.
you're boosting their confidence, right? Which ties into that whole respecting boundaries, like letting them feel in control.
You see, it's all connected.
It is. It is.
And think about grooming, right? It releases those feel-good endorphins.
Yeah.
Which helps create a positive association with you, just like with playtime or treats.
Right.
But it also requires you to be sensitive to their cues, to respect their limits, not force anything.
So you're reinforcing trust while also doing something that's like meaningful to them.
It's like a double whammy of bonding.
I love that.
And then you have positive reinforcement, right?
Yeah.
Which is all about clear communication, setting them up for success.
Right.
By rewarding the behaviors you want to see, you're guiding them towards a deeper understanding of what makes you happy.
So you're both on the same page, essentially.
Right.
Wow. It's amazing how it all ties together.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that food factor, right? That's like the
The
foundation.
base of the pyramid.
Exactly. When your cat knows they can rely on you for that basic need,
Yeah.
they can relax and engage in all those other activities with this sense of security and confidence.
It's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs for cats.
I love that. That's a great way to put it.
Once those basic needs are met, then they can move on to those higher levels of like connection and interaction.
I love that analogy.
It's cool, right?
It's really cool. And what's really fascinating
Right.
is that these 5 secrets to, quote unquote, earning your cat's love,
Yeah.
they actually teach us a lot about building relationships in general.
Ooh, tell me more about this.
I mean, think about it. Playfulness, clear communication, respect for boundaries, positive reinforcement, consistent support.
Yeah.
These are all essential ingredients for any healthy relationship, right?
That is so true.
Whether it's with a partner, a friend, a family member, or even yourself.
Oh, that's such a good point. I think, we get so focused on the specifics of like cat behavior that we forget that like the foundations of a good relationship are like they're universal.
They are. They totally are.
It's all about understanding the other like person or being, meeting their needs, creating that like dynamic of trust and respect.
100%. And just like with our feline friends, the rewards of those strong connections, they're immeasurable.
It's true. Deeper relationships lead to like more joy, more support, more understanding.
Absolutely.
And ultimately like a richer life.
A richer, more fulfilling life.
I love that. This has been such an eye-opening conversation. I'm like already thinking about how I can apply all this stuff,
Yeah.
Not just my cat, but like in all areas of my life.
That's awesome. I love that.
This is a fantastic deep dive.
I'm so glad you're finding it insightful.
Oh, absolutely.
And remember, this journey of understanding and connecting with your cat, it's ongoing.
Yeah.
There's always more to learn, more ways to deepen that connection.
That's a good point. Wow. Okay, I am still thinking about all those connections, like between how we treat our cats and how we treat, everyone else in our lives.
It's pretty wild, isn't it, how much we can learn from these furry little creatures.
Seriously. So for our listeners who are like, okay, I'm ready to take my cat relationship to the next level, what would you say is like the first step? Where do they even begin?
Honestly, the best thing you can do is become a student of your cat.
Ooh, it's student of your cat. I like that.
Right. Like really observe them, their body language, what they like, what they don't like, their little quirks.
So less about us like projecting our ideas of what affection should be.
Yeah.
And more about actually learning like their language.
Exactly. Once you understand what makes them tick, then you can adjust your interactions accordingly.
So like for example, if my cat's not a big fan of belly rubs,
Yeah.
I should probably stick to like head scratches or chin scratches.
Right. Exactly. Respecting those boundaries, that's key.
Makes sense. And remember, we talked about playtime.
Oh yeah, playtime.
So important, right? It's such a good bonding tool. Don't be afraid to like get creative.
Oh, absolutely. Don't just do the same old feather on a string,
Right, exactly.
Mix it up. Try different toys, different, ways of moving the toy. Try to really engage their hunting instincts.
So like be that little mouse running around.
Exactly.
And let them have those victory catches.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like it builds their confidence and it shows them that playing with you is fun and rewarding.
Right. You're like their personal entertainment director.
I love it.
And speaking of rewards, we talked about positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
You can sprinkle that throughout the day.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Not just like formal training sessions.
Right.
So, like, did your cat use the scratching post instead of your new couch? Praise party.
Oh, yeah.
Did they come running when you called their name? Treat time.
Okay, so just those little moments.
Yeah, little acknowledgments
Yeah.
that reinforce that connection between their actions and your happiness.
It's like a secret little language you build together.
Exactly.
I love that. And then, of course, there's that foundational element.
Yeah,
Consistency.
the bedrock.
Yes, exactly. Whether it's meal times, playtime, or just like spending time with them every day.
Yeah,
Those routines, it creates that sense of security for them.
totally.
It's like you're saying, hey, no matter what's going on in the world, you can always count on me.
Exactly. You get it. That feeling of stability lets them just like relax and be themselves,
Yeah, that's beautiful. This has been such a fascinating deep dive.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
I really, really have. It's amazing how much we can learn about our cats and about ourselves when we take the time to really see the world from their perspective.
It really is. It's a journey and it's a beautiful one.
It is, it is. So to all our listeners out there, keep observing, keep playing, keep those treats handy.
And keep your heart open.
Yes, the rewards of having a strong bond with your cat, they're priceless.
Absolutely. And until next time, happy bonding, everyone.
Happy bonding.